Hey, it's Patrick from Possum, Bourne, Motorsport, and today we're going to give you the workshop update for February combined with an insight into our Supra Dyno Day, which is on today. For the Dyno Day, we've got a huge variety of cars, anything from a small Suzuki Cappuccino to the main event, which is the new Supra behind me. So there'll be something for everyone, and we're expecting a whole lot of people to turn up very shortly. Obviously the question is out there, how much power does the Supra actually make? And this is going to get answered today. We're going to put it on the dyno and see exactly how much power this puts out to the rear wheels. Jordan had his beautiful Evo Tommi Makinen edition parked up for a number of years, and now it wasn't able to start. So it's in here to get diagnosed and some repairs getting done. We've already found the faulty crank angle sensor and the very old timing belt. So we're going to proceed with those repairs and then start it up and see what else is required to make this run as good as it should again. Next to me we've got Jackie's GC8. This is an awesome project which is going to be slowly developed into a track car. We've already built a 2.2 litre stroker engine for him. Next up we'll be working on the 6-speed conversion, brake upgrades and changing a whole bunch of bushes. Then upgrade the fuel system and the engine management as well. Yeah, Jackie has opted out for some massive AP racing brakes with 6-pot calipers in the front and 2-pot calipers in the rear. Super light AP racing, top of the line. So this is going to stop in no time. Joseph's Evo 5 is taking shape now as well. So originally this came in because it had a bit of an engine problem, and then it developed into a full-blown build, now running a G-Series Turbo forged engine, and we're expecting to see well over 300 kilowatt on this car. So it's spiraled out how a lot of these projects go, and it's going to be a very cool build. We did a whole lot of custom fabrication, including the downpipe and intercooler setup. This guy is running a Synco manifold, and we've opted out for the new G-Series G25 550 turbocharger, which is going to be very interesting to see what output we can get from that. For the setup, that is a smaller turbocharger, but a very responsive one. So it should be a fun car to drive with a very quick response. It won't make the most massive numbers of power, but it will be very enjoyable and usable power. Mike's Legacy has been with us for a little while, and the conversion is slowly coming towards an end. So most recently we've been working on a few items to get the car ready for certification. We've had to do some work to the fuel system to be within regulations, as well as the suspension and brake components. We've also done more fabrication, finishing the custom downpipe, wastegate plumbback, and our own custom catback exhaust. We've also installed driveshaft hoops. Continuing from the fabrication, we've also ceramic coated the headers, uppipe, downpipe and wastegate plumbback to keep the heat inside them, keep it aesthetically pleasing, so no heat trap is used, and it will also help the response of the turbo setup. Turbo wise, we've gone for a G25 660 on this car, so it will be responsive and make some decent power. We are running this car on ethanol, so which will keep it a bit cooler, which is also going to help this fact that we are still retaining a version 7 top mount intercooler. The headers we've opted out for on this car are PSR equal length stainless steel headers, and we've also recently installed parts of the fuel system and breather system. So we've installed our vibrant catch can setup in the engine bay and plumbed that all up, which has a large 2-liter capacity to suit this forged engine. And next to it, we've managed to fit a radium surge tank, which has a Walbro 450 liter per hour internal pump with an inbuilt fuel pressure regulator, keeping the fuel system very compact in one unit, and you'll also have the added benefit of no fuel surge if you are driving the car hard on the racetrack. The rest of the fuel system, we've got process west fuel rails and then ID 1700 cc injectors. They will be sufficient for ethanol. As we are adding items into the engine bay, we've also had to clear up some space, and therefore we've relocated the battery into the boot. Ken's car was converted to a version 7 engine, gearbox, diff and driveline. It's fully upgraded and it's making just over 220 kilowatts to the wheels now. Factory turbocharger, factory intercooler. So it isn't very modified as far as the conversion goes, but in this light wagon chassis, it is making the car very fast. We have upgraded the fuel pump in this car to a DW300 in-tank pump. The injectors are pink STI injectors that are still factory. We have installed a turbo intake pipe and fitted a K&N air filter in here. We've also installed a blow-off valve, which is a TurboSmart Supersonic. On this car we have fitted a custom 3-inch stainless steel downpipe and matched up to a Rage 2.5-inch catback exhaust system. On the ECU side, we're running a Link G4 Plus, which has been adapted to use the Wagon, to match the Wagon chassis. Power-wise, this car is putting down just above 220 kilowatts to the wheels. Very usable power, still running a factory turbocharger, so there is minimal lag, and it makes it a very fun car to take out on the back roads and can be compared to a modified GC8. Yeah, so in front of me you see Kyle's EJ25, which is getting towards the end of the build. So give you a quick brief what happened with his car. So he had it slightly modified and tuned and used it hard on the back roads and eventually ran a bearing. So that's when he brought the car here and we started to strip the engine down and found quite a lot of damage. Bearing material has gone everywhere and also damaged the turbocharger. So we've started from scratch and rebuilt a better version of his old setup. So the EZ25 has now got our PBMS closed stick modification. We're running forged rods. In this case, it's got Manly rods and JE pistons. We're also going to have the ARP head studs and Kelfoot valve springs, and we're going to run a set of Kelfoot 264, that's the B cam in here. And we've completed the heads with our PBMS pour and polish. The turbocharger, as I mentioned, is the old one got damaged from the bearing material, so we stayed with a bolt-on version on here. So we've gone for a Garrett GDX 3071R. And this should bring the whole setup close to the 300 kilowatt mark and still very responsive. So making everything better and stronger than it was originally. So we've also got another Evo 9 engine here that we're building. This is JS4063, which is gonna run a Nitto stroker kit, so which will bring it up to 2.3 liter. The kit consists out of a billet crank. We've got JE pistons to Nitto specifications and forged rods. Head, we're going to have ARP 625 head studs, the Kelfoot cams and beehive valve springs as well. And we've ported the heads on this car. We send it away for CNC porting, so it's going to the next level. It's gonna still stay on 98, but we're hoping to see just over 400 kilowatt to the wheels on this build. On this car we've got a custom Synco manifold, and we've also got a Garrett GDX 3582R to make that power. Some of you that have been following us for a while probably know this engine or know where it belongs to. So this is going into Spooled STI, and we are now at a stage where this is finally getting completed. So the engine short block wires is finished. It has our PBMS closed stick modification. It's also running dart and sleeves. We're running Pure Performance forged I-beam conrods, and we're running SuperTech pistons in here. We've done a few more modifications, as you can see, to improve the cooling, and we've also done extensive work on the cylinder heads to have that flow. We've gone for oversized valves and an extensive in-house pour and polish job. Currently we were waiting on a set of head gaskets to our requirements, so we have the compression ratio that we desire, and once they arrive we can assemble the whole engine and start to put it into the car. So there will be plenty more footage coming from this build. Behind me we've got Hiji, so he's the owner of this nice little Nissan. He's got a different engine to most of these out there. He kept the CA18 and started to modify that, which is great to see, something different, and it's going to make quite a bit of power. He's put a nice Synco manifold and upgraded turbocharger on here. Our job as part of this build was the fuel system upgrade, so we hardwired the fuel pump and installed larger injectors, and we are going to tune this car. Stay posted, we might be putting a link ECU into this as well. Behind me the version 7 is part of a little group of friends that likes to have fast STIs and take them to the track. So this one is Marshall's, which is now in for some more power. The suspension modifications and tires are already sorted, so we're going to put a link ECU into it now and going to tune it. We're going to bring the power up so he can compete with his friends and beat them on the track. for North Toyota for coming down with all the Turbo Smart gear and showing us all the turbos plus the 6-boost range. And of course for bringing down the new Supra as the main attraction of the day. So we finally know the answer how much power the new Supra puts down to the wheels. It did 235 kilowatt to the rear wheels today, which is more than advertised from the manufacturer. For the new Supra, this is only the beginning. So this is setting the baseline. Toyota will introduce a faster version in the coming months, and we're also looking forward to seeing the first ones that are getting modified here in New Zealand. So behind me we've got my Vision 8, which is going to be a track car build that we're slowly working through. We have received a couple parts for the build, but there'll be further updates in the future. The one thing that we'd like you to get involved with is give us a name, put all the ideas that you have in the comments, and the winner is going to get a free t-shirt. So that also brings us to the end of this month's workshop update and the Super Dyno Day. Thank you all for coming down. There have been plenty of different cars here, and I think it'll be a few hundred that showed up throughout the day. So really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to the next event.